Medrick Burnett Jr. was just 20 years old. He was in his first season at Alabama A&M University when he sustained a head injury. This happened in October. He had been hospitalized ever since, and then sadly, his death was announced last week, 1 month after that injury. Now, although no official cause has been released, from the NFL to collegiate football, concussions and head injuries are a much talked about issue. The current Miami Dolphins quarterback has suffered 4 concussions, but he is opting to continue to play. Both the NFL and the NCAA have protocols in place, but many worry that that may not be enough. So joining me now, board-certified family and sports medicine physician, Dr. Jesse Morse. Dr. Morse, thank you so much for your time on this. So this football player who died, Burnett, died just a month after being injured on the field. He was in the hospital for weeks. How much is known about what happened, and how he was hurt so drastically?
I don't think we know a whole lot about this. The media hasn't really commented, or the team hasn't commented. A lot of the times, 90+% of the time, these players miss a week or two with a concussion, and that's it. But if there was a fracture, if there was a re-injury after the initial concussion, there's a chance that, unfortunately, it can lead to this. Obviously quite rare, but I'd be curious to see the specifics as to exactly why this happened, because this is not common, thankfully.
Absolutely. So, we don't normally see injuries on the football field that lead to death. As you said, maybe they'll be in the hospital. Maybe they have to undergo more testing. Does it signify potentially that some changes might need to be made?
Yes, I mean, they're starting to push the Guardian caps, the little extra crazy caps they see in the NFL. I think the data is okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. I think a lot of it has to do with technique, and that's kind of where it needs to start. If a player is tackled in the wrong manner, if another player is kind of being dirty and directing their helmet, or there's different situations where you can have a lower seizure threshold, a lower threshold for concussions. And that's what we've seen with Tua. It didn't really take a whole lot for him to suffer a new one, because his brain has already been exposed to it so many times that it doesn't take enough of a stimuli to really set him over the edge. We saw that again this past weekend with Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars doing that, the fencing response, which is kind of that weird hands that they're showing right now. Unfortunately, when you're at the teenage and high school level, sometimes early college, they're a little bit reckless. They're not, maybe their chin strap's not completely settled in. A lot of the times they're not using good form, and it can be just a fluky play, or sometimes they had a predisposition that maybe wasn't seen.
We do see consequences. The Texans linebacker was just suspended for his late hit on the Jacksonville QB. But we also see injury consequences from these hits. But it doesn't impact, or doesn't seem to impact, the popularity of the sport. Do you think this is just something that people kind of accept comes with some serious risks? Yeah, I mean,
it's much better than it was 20, 30 years ago. Where they didn't really care and they sent them back on the field. We have more understanding and a bigger appreciation of that now. But at the same time, we don't really want to just turn a blind eye to it and say, oh, it's just a concussion. These are traumatic brain injuries. And for some people, they last 4 or 5 days. Some people, it takes months to recover. And sometimes that brain is never the same. You've probably heard of CTE by now. And that's, in my opinion, a chronic condition of recurrent hits, whether it's a big hit or small hits like a lineman. And you'll start to see more and more. These guys are big, fast, strong. And unfortunately, despite how much trying not to hit the head and neck area, sometimes it happens. Yeah. This is a vicious sport. And a lot of people, they think that just comes with the territory of playing the game that many of us love.
All right. Well, Dr. Jesse Morse, we certainly appreciate you weighing in. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.